Jim, what, in your opinion, is the best? Oh, this is so hard to answer. Probably is the best angle or story you've ever seen.
Oh,
To
the fuck!
to jump off of that, and this is probably a little easier. What is the best angle or story you've been directly involved with? As always, thank you for what you do.
Oh my God. The best hour of television wrestling ever, 1985, where Ted DiBiase was set to wrestle Ric Flair on Mid-South Wrestling for the NWA title, but Dick Murdoch turned on him and posted him, and he got juice, and it led to the match between DiBiase and Flair, where DiBiase almost won, but Flair kicked him out of the ring off the figure 4 attempt, and then Murdoch came down and gave him the brain buster, and Watts did the fucking promo, and Jesus Christ, I don't even know how to go on. It was
Jesus Christ was part of that angle too? Wow.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, the greatest hour of wrestling television in history, where DiBiase was a heel at the start of the program, and at the end of the program, when they were loading him in the ambulance, the people were chanting, "Teddy, Teddy."
Is this available somewhere for me to watch? Is this private? A private collection
this
thing?
is on my shelf on VHS, but go to YouTube, where everything apparently resides, and DiBiase versus Flair, Mid-South Television. I don't know how to narrow it down any more than that, but
I'm sure I can find it. If I can't, I will request a copy.
I used to give it to the wrestling school students in OVW as a lesson in, this is how you do this thing that we call pro wrestling. And then there was the match, or the TV show between Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee leading up to the Leave Town match in 1983, where Dave Meltzer has likened the current day Jones Cormier build to the Lawler Dundee show, except it wasn't as good as the Lawler Dundee show. You can't say what the greatest of all time was, because that's always subjective. What's the greatest painting of all time? Is it the Mona Lisa? Well, other people have different.
Well, I mean, I guess that's the deal. It's a matter of people respect your opinion so much, they want to know what to you was the greatest. And I think that allows them to see it in a different lens, if you will.
Well, but here's the thing is, what was the greatest? Was the greatest wrestling match of all time Flair and Steamboat, any of their trilogy in 1989, or was it Lawler and Terry Funk in the Mid-South Coliseum in March of 1981, or was it, you can't say.
Or something that no one will ever see because it was never put down on tape, and that's it. Probably between two people you've never heard of.
and to be honest, there was a contender in Dallas with the Midnight Express and the Fantasticks, where it was our last match in Dallas with the Fantasticks in the Sportatorium, where we had already given our notice and we were going to leave and go to Jim Crockett Promotions. And we decided, you motherfuckers, you didn't pay us in world-class wrestling. And Kevin Von Erich, if you're listening, I love you. I don't have no heat against you. But, it was like, we're going to show you motherfuckers what you could have had. And we had the best Midnight Express versus Fantasticks match ever. Better than Clash of Champions. Better than the worldwide show where we went an hour. Better than anything in the arenas or anything on television. Was a non-televised match in the Sportatorium in Dallas, where it was our last match. And we said, you know what? We're going to show you what the fuck you're missing, motherfuckers. Not fans, promoters. And it was, God damn, it tore the fucking house down, and people were fucking insane. And I wish we had it on tape, but it wasn't taped.
That's like the equivalent of your ex-girlfriend putting on her finest dress and her fuck me pumps and walking past you. It's like, this is what you will not be touching anymore.
Yeah, this is what you will not be getting anymore. So it's all subjective, but I don't know whether, it's up to people's taste. It's art, it's music. Who was better, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, or the Rolling Stones? There's no way to tell.
Do you have a favorite angle that you were involved in? That's the second part of his question. Is that easier to narrow, or is it really just people that you enjoyed working with?
Oh, goddamn. The favorite angle. I mean, I loved the fucking deal that we did with the rock and roll that set us off in Louisiana, but I loved the deal with the rock and roll that set us off in the NWA, but I loved the deal with Tully and Arn. There was,
I guess suffice it to say, you had a beautiful career with the most lovely people, and you were incredibly lucky and talented.
But the best angle that we ever did that drew no money whatsoever was the deal where Paul Lee came out with the original Midnight, Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose, and he cracked me over the head with the fucking cell phone on TBS TV, and I got mucho juice and almost bled out on TV. And it drew absolutely no money because that was the Turner Broadcasting had just bought Crockett Promotions, and Jim Crockett was the booker after they fired Dusty, and then they hired George Scott, who was a goddamn Alzheimer's ridden fucking incompetent, and it was all fucked up. So that was my favorite angle and drew no money, but we did umpteen angles that drew fucking huge money. And you can't really pick what was best, what was not best. A lot of them were good. I can't say.
I get the same kind of thing where I get people asking me, and considerably less than you, but Alice, what's your 5 favorite or your 10 favorite blah? And it's like, that's really hard to do. It depends on my mood. It's like music, the same deal. Like you had mentioned, it depends on my mood as to which band I prefer the most. Every week it's different.
What's the greatest rock and roll guitar song? Well, my vote is Green Grass and High Tides by the Outlaws. But nobody has ever heard that in modern day fucking, society.
I've heard it.
The Outlaws, Green Grass and High Tides. That's the greatest rock and roll guitar song ever fucking recorded. And people look at you like you got steaming turds hanging out of your mouth because they've never heard it.
If you asked me today, I'd probably say Tightrope by Stevie Ray Vaughan, but next week it might be Black Napkins by Frank Zappa.
Have you ever heard Green Grass and High Tides by the Outlaws?
No, not only have I heard it, I have played it in a video game. As crazy as that sounds, there was a video game called Rock Band, and that was one of the guitar songs in the song.
There are a lot of young folks who have never heard that fucking song, and when they say, well, so and so is the greatest guitar player and so is this and that, and I go, no, Green Grass and High Tide by the Outlaws. I'm not knocking Keith Richards, I'm not knocking Jimi Hendrix, I'm not knocking Eric Clapton, but for fucking 8 minutes or whatever that it lasts, this is the greatest guitar rock and roll performance ever put on fucking tape.
And again, subjective, because that's for you. So
yeah, and it's subjective for me, but actually, honest to God,
you're saying it is objective.
It's pretty much the greatest guitar fucking rock and roll performance ever put on fucking tape.
Whatever you think, you're wrong. Jim's right.
But once again, so you don't know.